This is Par 73 again, bringing you Game 2 of this match in the Crucible of Myth World Cup 1999. That's correct, folks, a blast from the past. These two teams, the Sabre Runners and the Bad Mofos, faced off a little over 15 years ago. Actually, exactly 15 years ago. And the battles that followed, well, they're just part of history now. So let's get into it and see what took place in the second meetings of these teams. Now, I've chosen to do the Sabre Runners and BMF match first because this match was scheduled to happen earlier than the other matches in the Crucible, along with another match due to the fact that it was in the top bracket. Now, it says on the Myth World Cup 1999 website that the Crucible was supposed to be played in a matter of 3 days, but the way that the dates are doesn't actually add up, and it looks more like the Crucible only involved 6 teams rather than the 8 it says on the website. But out of respect and love for the game, I've included those top 8 teams, and that's where I'll begin. Regardless, back to the myth. We have in the West the Bad Mofos. They're led by Scorpio, Sid the Great, Hunted HDK, Thorin, Mythster, Papa Scrub, BMF, and Bullseye. And there's a Bungie Net admin present named Stinger, who I believe is also on the Civil Order team. He must just be spectating the match. Perhaps he's hosting and providing the opportunity for these two teams to play. So over in the East, we have the Sabre Runners, trying to understand who their identities are. Has been a bit of a mystery to unfold this match. So far, we are aware that Scurvy Dog is Wayward One, and Yellow Belly is in fact Odin. I believe was also playing on the Companions team, who we may see again in this tournament. And it looks like B&A Butcher is also present, so he's actually well aware of the dummy accounting that's taking place. Just goes to show how childish it might have been years later to try to keep the integrity of the game and discourage teams like the Sabre Runners running with mysterious identities and themes from taking place. But anyway, on to the battle. We have 10 seconds remaining. Odin with the 5 Trow. Looks like Wayward One and Rum Rogers taking the soul packs for the Sabre Runners. Meanwhile, over in the West, BMF splitting up the Tro 3-2, similar to last game, except this time, well, Scrub has his 3 Tro again, Sid has his 2, they also got their 6 Warlocks again, and Sabre Runners going for their 4 Warlocks. I'd like to point out a white for them this game, as well as another white for BMF. And with the extended view that came with 1998, you can really see the teams here starting to mold up on the battlefield all at the same time. It looks like it's 2 Tro, 2-5 mid. This time BMF not sending their extra 2 Warlocks on the flanks. Oh, I don't know if you've played Myth 2 before, but the reason they have 2 more Warlocks than the Sabre Runners is because before each game, there's a pregame, and the team captains are allowed to use what is called a unit trading menu to select the units their team will be using that game. Now it will automatically max out any remaining points you haven't used, and with practice you'll be able to know what you want to use and when, and something like a 30-second planning time or a 2-minute planning time is all the time you need to give yourself or your team the preferred units you want. Sabre Runners taking the early lead here, however, BMF now up 11 points on them just by taking out a Warlock and taking out another Warlock. We got another 20 points. Odin will be moving in on Papa Scrub, however. We have a Tro trap, and one of Papa Scrub's Tro is going down. Another Tro is going down, and he is pretty pissed off. Har, says Yellowbeard, and it looks like Ouch Bulls is gonna go down as well, and the Sabre Runners have a huge commanding lead all of a sudden. And ouch, BMF takes the lead and loses it just like that. Things are not looking good for them in game 2. Odin, he's in man mode. BMF needs to watch out, and with a 2 Tro advantage and a 12% advantage, things look like they're heading into Sabre Runners' favor here. Clearly the better BC Tro team. But we have Bullseye stepping up for his team, taking out an enemy Warlock. Meanwhile, Scorpio and Thoran doing their thing, taking out an enemy Soul and White. So BMF coming back here a little bit, only down 60 points of BC, and I'm surprised Sabre Runners aren't backing off more, as they only have 1 Warlock remaining to BMF's 5. And Bullseye's gonna get that shot off. Odin unable to secure the kill on his Warlock, and his shot isn't gonna do much. We will turn the map back on here and get a little closer to the action. Again, Yellow Belly unable to take the Warlock out. He's gonna take some damage. And despite having the lead here, I'm under the belief that the Sabre Runners are in fact in trouble, as lining up, there's no way they could take on 5 Warlocks at the same time. Their advantage is in a half health Tro, and I believe having some more Solus. And Bullseye moving right up here, going for the block is all One Eye, very well done. And the way players nowadays talk, you'd be willing to believe unit blocks like that didn't happen. But that's why I chose these films. They're supposed to be the top 8 teams in the tournament regardless. So this should be the best gameplay. And Bullseye gonna get off a shot. Blackbeard just faking the AFK. And only a 35-point lead now for the Sabre Runners. Almost able to take out Scorpio's Warlock there. They might have it. Nope. Just a little bit too short. He's one lucky son of a gun. And Scorpio makes it out of there. The Soul's really able to outrange the Warlocks here and stay fairly safe. Also from melee, and another Warlock almost killed by the artillery of Sabre, but Yellow Belly's gonna take it out himself. Meanwhile, oh, we have Mr. taking out his entire team. Of course, this doesn't lose any damage points for BMF by the way the 1.3 gameplay is and the way body count works. You can only lose damage if he hurt his own units. Scorpio is saying game over because they now lost all that percentage, though. I guess you can't make it up that way. Yellow Belly was taking some AFK hits there while he was micromanaging his troll, but it looks like BMF's Warlocks are stepping up to answer the call, and they have now taken the lead. Bullseye cheering, run, and they are going to head for the hills. We'll have to see how this turns out as Yellow Belly has them surrounded, so to speak. But at the same time, it looks like the Sabre runners also want to camp and wait it out. They still have 82% remaining. If they lose 3 more percent, that's a difference of points that they're losing and gaining there. So we'll have to see. And no souls means that Odin can really push the hell out of him if he wanted to. Papa Scrub identifying with that. Tactically speaking, I would be sending those higher health Tro to try to score some quick hits using lower health one to block a Warlock and really just rush and outmaneuver BMF. However, they don't know if whites are lurking, and there happens to be one in the North Pool owned by Papa Scrub. In 2 minutes, Tro, let's rush. Yellow Belly, serious? Blackbeard, yeah, this is this is boring. Blackbeard, no. So we have some argumentation amongst the team captains here. And BMF getting a little paranoid about enemy whites themselves. It looks like Scorpio has another white here. They're setting up a little trap. But this is close. So thinking about the way the points are scored, BMF would get 1 point for taking out
1 minute remaining.
10%, right? And if they had gotten another 2%, then it would be different, but it's not. So we get 1 point there, and then what, 5 for winning the game. And it's percent remaining. Now I understand. I wasn't reading it correctly. Maybe I'm just dyslexic. Now I understand. And then they would get 6 points for having the 60% remaining.
30 seconds.
That's 6
remaining.
plus 5 plus 1. That would be 12 points for BMF and for Sabre Runners, who looks like Yellow Belly's trying to make a move here. Nothing will probably come of it. They would get 8 points for 80% remaining. They eliminated 40%, that's 12. So this game looks like it will end in a 12 to 12 tie. Although I guess it technically counts as a BMF win according to the rules, because if you win in perm, then it counts as the win. But I'm not really sure, because I know you're supposed to add up points. So it looks like this is a 12 to 12 tie. And the thing about last game's points, yep, it definitely makes sense the way it was scored on the website. And in that light, the match is now 26 points. It's the Sabre Runners to 23 points BMF, so it's still pretty close. BMF taking this one. Scorpio doing more than 0 damage last game, netting 32 damage. Bullseye 118, Hunted HDK 40 damage, Mythster 24, Thoran 7 damage, Sid 48 damage. Papa Scrub 22 damage. And over for the Sabre runners, we have Captain Blackbeard 34 damage. Yellow Belly putting in work once again. Being able to trap that Tro, and well, that's mostly all I really remember him doing. Still netted him a good whopping 143 damage. And Scurvy Dog, Wayward One, coming in again, 50 damage. Doing the second most for his team. Ron Rogers, 17 damage. Pete, 6. One-Eyed, 4. So far, this looks like it's been 6 vs 7, although I believe Thorin just joined us this game. Although I don't believe it's the same Thorin who is playing the Mazarin's Demise plugin in the mid-2000s. Although it could be. Who really knows? I know that Sid the Great did return. HDK and Bullseye played around in 2004, as did Scorpio. Odin played as well, Yellow Belly. So it's interesting to see some old renowned players doing their thing here back 15 years ago. And once again, the graph's gonna look like crap, thanks to the black of Blackbeard's team color. And I don't see a crossover at all. But I do see the line here, and so the early lead I think is to BMF. Sabre Runner grabs the lead, BMF grabs it back, and 12-12 in points, bringing it 26 points. Sabre Runners 223 BMF, the Bad Mofos. We had 2 bunch of net admins present for this game. And that ding means it's time for game 3, so we are going to move on here to the next game. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the cast so far. Hope to see you at game 3.